is Nate with another Backcountry beer review. Today I'm on Timber Mountain in southern New Mexico. It is a P2K. It's a peak of 2,000 feet or more of prominence. And the views from this peak are just stunning. You can see so much of New Mexico. I feel like you can see half the state, at least half the Rio Grande Valley that runs through the state. And like I said, Rio Grande Valley, it's below us. You have two of the largest lakes in the state, both man-made, obviously, Elephant Butte Lake and Caballo Lake beneath us. You can just see the agriculture. You can see the vast nothingness that is the Chihuahua Desert in southern New Mexico. And you can see all the desert peaks. New Mexico, as you get further south, the peaks get a little more jagged, a little bit more deserty, versus the north where they tend to be a little bit rolly until you get to the Rocky Mountains, obviously. And just a stunning view, like I said. I really like it up here. This is my first hike since breaking my ankle back in June. It's only a 1 mile round trip, and I have to say that the first half mile really took a lot out of me. So I'm not necessarily looking forward to the half mile back, but hey, I got to do it to get to the car and get home. The beer I'm reviewing today is a pretty special beer. I'll get to that later. It is by Collective Arts Brewing Limited in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. And it's their Stranger Than Fiction Porter. It is made with Cascade, Nugget, and Magnum hops. Collective Arts is a pretty interesting brewery. Their whole shtick is that they really highlight artists, and they use their cans as like a canvas for art, and their actual brewing location has a lot of art for sale. It's a very interesting location. I recommend if you find yourself in Hamilton, Ontario, to check it out. It's a special beer review because I was in Hamilton, Ontario, visiting my friend Joe from the Beer Breakfast YouTube channel. He was kind enough to meet up with me while I was already in that area for a work trip, and he took me to a couple pretty good breweries, and we hung out for a bit, and he was nice enough to let me into his house and hang out with him, and it was a great time. And so thank you, Joe, for taking me to Collective Arts and recommending this beer. Actually, he said that this was, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but I think he indicated that this was one of his favorite beers by this brewery. So I'm pretty excited to open it up and taste it on camera as part of this series. So let's do that. All right, time for a sip. There are some interesting aspects to this beer. The first thing that I note is that it's very chocolatey at the outset. It's a little off dry. I hesitate to say, even off dry implies maybe it's a little sweeter than it is. It doesn't have that much sweetness. But that initial flavor profile does come to me like chocolate milk. It's kind of got that sweet, creamy chocolate flavor. You get a little bit of bitterness as the profile evolves, kind of not even really dark chocolate, almost like mocha. Like to me, it's almost like Frappuccino. That kind of mocha or coffee chocolate mocha flavor with that creaminess worked in. In the middle, I'm maybe getting a little bit of fruitiness, maybe something like chocolate and raspberry, maybe raisin, but it's not super strong. The intriguing thing about this beer is the final, I would say, third of the tasting profile is very hop forward. I'm getting a lot of pine. I'm getting a little bit of herbaceousness, a little bit of botanical notes, maybe even something like, I'm not really picking up citrus flavor per se, but that kind of like pithiness from a citrus peel. Yeah, I'm getting vegetal, I'm getting earthiness to a lesser degree, but it's definitely got that hop profile, which is really interesting. I don't think you normally get that kind of like piney, almost IPA-like hop profile from a porter. The finish is very gentle, it's very mild. It's even kind of hard to say that there's much of a lingering finish. A lot of times with porters and stouts, I'll get this kind of lingering bitterness, this coffee bitterness, chocolate bitterness. With this, I'm not really getting that. So that's pretty interesting to me. A really good beer. I definitely recommend trying it if you get the chance. Cheers, and have a backcountry beer for me.